means that we have many points of data. And we have a variety of answers. That's what we can do stats with. We can do statistics when we have a lot of different answers and when we have a lot of points. Okay, and those answers have to have the option to be a variety. There has to be options of difference. Okay, so for example, if I asked everyone, what is your favorite color? What is each student's favorite color? We'll keep it just basic. We should write like in this classroom or at Apollo, but that's fine. Okay, what is each student's favorite color? Are all of you going to have the same answer? No. Vienna, what's your favorite color? Orange. Does everyone love orange in this class? Orange is your favorite. Raise your hand. Oh, got one other person. That's exciting. Okay, so we have some repeats, but not everyone. Lydia, what's your favorite color? Pink. Raise your hand if pink is your favorite. Just Lydia? Okay, cool. Mine's green. Who likes green? Yeah, we're the green people. We're awesome. All right, so we're going to get a variety of answers, and then we can make like a bar graph or a circle graph out of that because we have different answers and different amounts for each of those. All right, so that's statistical. Means that we have many points of data. All right, over here we have non-statistical. That starts with that word or that prefix non. What does the prefix non tell us? When something starts with that word non, it tells us it's not. Yeah. So not statistical data. So not statistical data means that there is one answer. Now there's a couple ways that this could work. Either we're asking a bunch of people a question and everyone has the same answer, or we're just asking one person the answer. Okay? If I just ask one person what their favorite color is, that's great that Lydia's favorite color is pink, but I can't do stats with that. All I can say is Lydia's favorite color is pink. Okay? If I ask the question 2 plus 2, and I go around the room and I ask everyone what is 2 plus 2, is everyone going to give me different answers? Or should everyone give me the same answer? Same answer. So even though I'm asking different people, it's still only one answer. So there could be one data point or multiple data points, but either way there's only going to be one answer. So, for example here, we could ask, what is... And you can name someone that you want to name. I'm going to put Miss Morrell, because that's just me. What is Miss Morrell's favorite color? The answer is green. Okay, if we had that question, what is Miss Morrell's favorite color, even though we went around and we asked a bunch of people that question, there is only one answer for it, one correct answer. So everyone should say green. Okay, that only has one part to it. All right, so when we look at questions, questions are either going to be statistical or non-statistical. We should be able to put it either saying there's many points of data with a variety of answers, or there's just one answer. Okay, we should be able to put it in one of those categories. Does that make sense? A little bit? All right, so next up we're going to go to the next classification, the next group. Once we pick this, we can also pick this. Okay? Either we're going to have numerical data or categorical data. Numerical data, let's open up that flap next, means that data is listed as, what does numerical mean? Or what does it sound like? What word? Starts with an N. Yeah, numbers. You guys are real chatty today. Data is listed as numbers. Okay, so if we're asking a question about this, we could say, how many bubblers did each student drink yesterday? Hi.
Zach?
What?
Abdi or Zach?
He's not here.
Is he supposed to be though?
Yes. He is supposed to be. How many bubblers, oh, I forgot an E, did each student drink yesterday? Okay, if I go around and I ask you how many or how much, that should often give us a number answer. So that how many or how much would be good. Okay, again, should we have a couple different answers? Raise your hand if you had no bubblers yesterday. 0. How many of you had 1 bubbler yesterday? Anyone have 2 bubblers? What? Crazy. Anyone more than 2? 3 or 4? 5? 10? Okay, so we had different answers. Good. But that's like a number answers. Okay? All right. Categorical data is our other option when we ask questions. We can either have data listed as numbers, or categorical kind of sounds like categories. We're putting it in a category. So data is listed as names or as groups. But they have like word groupings or word answers. Okay, so it has a word answer. If you want to put that in, you can. You don't have to. So instead of asking how many bubblers did each student drink yesterday, we could ask what is each student's favorite flavor of bubbler. Okay, if I ask you your favorite flavor, are you going to tell me the answer is 3? I mean, unless Bubbler comes out with a new flavor called 3. But you might say the tropical punch, or you might just call it pink or blue. I like the pink kind. I don't know what kind it is. That's my favorite. Gavin, what's your favorite type of bubbler? Watermelon. Watermelon? There's no watermelon. Like a green one? Yeah. Oh. I have never tried that one. Sounds good. Okay, but either way, when we ask people their favorite type of bubbler, it's going to be in that word. Sully, what's your favorite type of bubbler? You drank one yesterday? You just drink whatever bubbler people give you? Okay. Cool. All right, so those have to do with the types of questions that we're asking. So if it's statistical, we can then decide based on those answers we get, those variety of answers, is it numerical or categorical? Okay. Now this is going to tell us about the information that we get. This next part is the about part. So we're going to start with population. Population is kind of its own thing. That's why it has its own little bubble here. Okay, what is a population? When I ask you, what's the population of St. Cloud? What does that mean? Like, how many people live in St. Cloud? Good, you guys got it. Okay, you guys are so chatty today. That was some sarcasm. I would like if more people talked. Okay, so it's going to be the entire group of people we want information about. The entire group of people that we want information about. Okay, so for this one, we're going to kind of pair. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to think like ASU. There's ASU. If you want to join ASU, there's a meeting today during Equal Time for you to get more information about that so you can run. Okay, but we're going to say that ASU is deciding on homecoming themes, theme days. They want to know what kind of themes they should do. So they're going to ask students, who are they trying to make a decision about? Do they just want to know what Nick thinks the homecoming themes should be? Do they just want to know about the 9th graders? No, they want all the students. Do they want all Minnesota students to be asked what our homecoming theme should be? No, just Apollo. So this is all Apollo students would be the population. We'd want to know about the Apollo students, what they think. All right, so then we're going to go to samples. So if you sample something, like at the store, Costco, you sample it. A sample, I remember we talked about sample space and unit J. A sample is the part. Okay, we're taking a sample of it. So it's the smaller group of people or maybe animals or whatever we're collecting data from, or trees. But the smaller group of whatever it is that we're looking for, we might be counting how many leaves each tree has, that we collect data from. So we might not get a chance to ask every Apollo student what they think their homecoming theme should be for the days, like what dress-up days we should have. So maybe we ask 300 students what they think out of, and we have about 1,200 students at Apollo, so out of 1,200 students. We didn't get a chance to ask everyone their opinion because that would have been too long, or would have taken too much time, or it would have given us too many ideas. So we just stuck to about 300 students. We stuck to about 25% of the population. Now, did this happen in your life? No, this is just an example. All right, so then we should be able to identify what the smaller population is and then what type it is. So this is where it says and then there's this big or. There's 4 different types. So once we decide who the population is, who did we actually ask or take data from, and then based on how we got that data, it's going to be one of these 4. Okay, random, systematic, convenience, or self-selected. Okay, so for random, what do you think random means? It means everyone has an equal chance of being selected. It's random. Everyone has an equal chance of being selected. So we're sticking with this Apollo theme. So a way for us to do this would be if we had a computer generating a list of names or generates students' IDs. Okay, so a computer, we tell Skyward we need 300 kids. It just picks random 300 kids. So a computer generates a list of names, or it could be like a list of student ID numbers. That would be random. Everyone's name is entered, and the computer is just picking them. There's no order, there's no rhyme. It's just deciding which ones to pick, and it's just doing it. Now, systematic can feel random at times, but in systematic, what word do we see in that word systematic? System. And a system is like a rule. Okay, so in systematic, there is a method to choosing the participants, or there's a rule. There is a method to choosing participants, or a rule. So if we printed out a list of students and we had it alphabetized A to Z list of students, and on that list we picked every 10th students. We picked every 10th student, not students, sorry. So we start from the top, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whatever we land on, we say, yep, that's somebody we're going to ask. Then we go again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We pick the 10th person. So every time we're picking the 10th person, it's not technically random. Those students might feel like it was randomly chosen, but because there's a method and when I pick one, it's going to tell me what I should pick next. If we all got the same list and we did this system, we should all end up with the same people that we're asking. Where random, if we get the same list, we should all be ending up with kind of different people. There might be some overlap, but wouldn't be exactly the same. Okay? So systematic might feel like it's random, but because there's a rule, it tells us exactly who to pick based on that rule, based on that method. All right, you guys are doing good. We're almost done. All right, next up we have convenience. Convenience is like the convenience store. Quick Trip is sometimes a convenience store. If there's a convenience store, that means it has like everything that you need. It's a quick stop. It's easy to stop at. So participants are easy to reach. That would be convenient for us. It's easy to reach. It's easy for us to do. So if these ASU members that are deciding these homecoming themes are running out of time, they might choose to do a convenience sample, meaning that they're not going to put much extra work into it. They're all just going to go to their period 3 class and ask students in their period 3 class. So and you could say like my period 3 class. Underline that word my. Some of you who don't like to talk to people, you're probably like, what the heck, why would that be easy? Asking random people in my period 3 class. And it might feel, again, random because I didn't choose who's in my period 3. But that's kind of the point, is did you have to put effort into deciding who's going to be in my period 3 class? Nope. Did you have to decide who to ask in that class or who not to ask? Nope. You just showed up and you asked them. So it was easy. Okay, if they needed to make a decision by period 4 and they're like, oh crap, we didn't ask anyone, this might be a good time to do that. Everyone does a period 3. All right, last one for our sample, and that is self-selected. So self-selected means that people are selecting themselves. People are choosing to do the survey. So participants choose to partake. Okay, we do these a lot at Apollo, and the way that we do them is we do Schoology surveys. So for example, there was a yearbook survey that you could fill out. Is everyone required to fill it out? No. Can you if you want to? Yes. But you have to decide, I'm going to take the survey. Okay, so that would be self-selected. All right, so as we take a look at our data, remember we have an entire group, so there should be a population. There should be a sample who we can identify who we asked, and then there's a how. This is how we asked it. Either random, systematic, convenience, or self-selected. All right, last one is really important, biased and unbiased. Hopefully you've been talking about that in some of your other classes lately, biased and unbiased. Okay, it's been a really big thing, big part of news lately, especially with politics, is if you are biased or unbiased. What does it mean if you have a bias? Bias is like you're kind of leaning towards something, you kind of already have an opinion, you're trying to sway someone. So a biased question, this is based on the question that we ask or the data we collect. So the question or the sample will result in an inaccurate or a wrong representation. The question or sample will result in inaccurate or a wrong representation of the population. So there's a couple ways this could happen. There's a lot of different ways, actually. One way could be the way that the question is asked, and the second way could be based on who we asked. Okay? So if we're asking who is the best intermediate algebra teacher at Apollo, and we only ask my classes, are you guys going to give a good answer of who the best teacher is between the 3 intermediate teachers? Do you guys know how Miss Glenn teaches? Some of you have been in there. Not a lot of us, though. Have you guys had Miss Michael this year? Again, some of us, but not a lot. Most of you have had me all year, right? So if I only ask my students who's the best intermediate algebra teacher, who by far should win? Me. Okay? Some of you who had Miss Glenn will probably say Miss Glenn is better, because that's correct. Miss Glenn is better. Okay? And that's great. But by far, because most people only had me, that would be the answer. Okay, another way that this could be skewed or biased would be if I walked up to someone like Alan. Now, Alan is really opinionated, so he's probably going to give me his opinion, but pretend that you're not opinionated, okay? And I say, hey, Alan, I'm your favorite teacher, right? I'm the best math teacher you've ever had. Right? Like, I help you, I sit with you, like, we have fun together, like, I'm the favorite, right? Okay, if I'm going and I'm asking him all those questions and saying all those things and trying to convince him that I'm the best, is that going to, does he feel like he can tell me, no, I'm not his favorite? No, I'm kind of pressuring him. Okay, so if you feel pressured to give a certain answer, that might be biased. Okay, so, a couple ways that we could say this. I'm going to go with that one with the bias. Say, if Miss Morrell asks, if I ask her, Miss Morrell asks her students, so only her students, we're going to put in quotation marks of the actual question I'm going to ask. And the question I would ask is, I'm your favorite teacher, right? Now, if I wasn't pressuring Alan to answer the question that I wanted him to answer, I wanted him to say yes, he might tell me that his 4th grade math teacher was better than me. Was your 4th grade teacher better than me? 4th grade math teacher?
I don't remember her.
You don't remember? Oh. Do you have any other math teachers? Am I your favorite?
Yeah.
Do you feel pressured to say that because I asked you in front of everyone?
No.
Oh, exciting. That's cool. Thank you for being honest. And nice. All right, so Miss Morrell asks her students, I'm your favorite teacher, right? You might feel pressured to answer a certain way. That would make a bias. All right, unbiased. Again, we have that prefix un. Un means not. So for unbiased, it's going to be the question will actually result in accurate representation. Or actually, it's right. Okay, the question or sample will result in an accurate or correct representation of the population. All right, so if I wanted to know about Apollo, or if I wanted to know your guys' favorite math teacher, a good way to make sure that a question or a sample is accurate is to make sure that it's random, that people get randomly asked, or to give people an anonymous survey. Remember, anonymous means no one knows who sent it in. So if I sent out a survey and I just asked you, what do you think of me as a teacher? Because you're not telling me face to face, because you know that I won't know that you wrote it, you might be more honest. You might be more unbiased. Okay, when you're telling someone face to face what you think of them or what they're asking about, you might feel pressured to answer a certain way, depending on the question. All right, so the way that we do this is we're going to glue it in. If you would like to color code it, you can. I'm going to color code mine. But as you glue it in your notes, you glue the back side. Okay, so you glue that in. And this is L-2 classifying data. Ian, we're not done. We're not done. No, you've been doing nothing. You've been on your phone the whole time. What do you need?
All my notes.
That's not true. Did you?
Yeah. Look.
I don't believe you. Alright, so gotta get this glued in, and then I'm just going to show you how I'm going to color code mine. If you do not want to color code yours, that's okay. It just might help kind of figure things out. So if you grab your colored pencils, I'll come around with more colored pencils also, because I know that those are running low. Yeah. Alright, so if we need to, on this top part here, I'm going to color the statistical, non-statistical one color. And then I'm also going to color that on the inside there. Okay, so first top part gets one color. Second row gets another color. So a different one for numerical and categorical, so pick a different color. Okay, and then you can color that on the inside as well. And then this is the part that gets a little different, is population gets its own color. But then for sample, I'm going to color these all the same. So I'm going to put these all together. Alright, I'll come around with colored pencils, and then biased and unbiased also gets one other color. Okay, so the big one is that this population gets its own color. Okay, so if you'd like to